This is where your transport journey begins. This is where your tourism journey begins, because we give you information, real life situations that affect real people like you and I in the sector. We talk about transport, we look at issues of public importance in the road sector, in the land transportation, talking about road and the rail sector, looking at water transportation, talking about inland waterways and the maritime sector, talking also about air transport, specifically looking at the aviation sector. All of these comes together under transport, and the program when we also discuss issues within tourism, looking at inbound and outbound tourism. And like I say, this is a program where transport and tourism comes together, because tourism needs transport, needs quite a lot of things to actually coexist together. One depends on the other, while they are both needed for us as individuals on the streets. Welcoming you again to Transport and Tourism Express. My name is Victor Oyejide, and as usual I have my analyst on the program, who is Rufus Osunsami. We would also be speaking during the course of the program.
Prayers. Then he told me all the stories of my
As part of schedule, every week we get to look at big major trending news within the sector, in this transport and tourism sector, looking at real life situations, issues that have happened within the course of the week, and informations for your listening pleasure, for you to keep yourself abreast and how to plan your various activities and schedule. And today would not be different, because we get to take you through the news at first, then we'll speak with our guest. Today we have an important program, an important section where we'll be speaking with the chairman of the road transport workers, one of the road transport workers, talking about Road Transport Association, I beg your pardon, talking about Akomoro, the chairman of the Bike Riders Association in Oyo State. He will be live on the program with us, and in due course we'll get to talk about issues around safety of road users, both the riders and the passengers, and some other issues of public importance around our space. It is very important, because a lot is happening. Issues of public transport in Oyo State needs to also be given a special look, a good concern, and looking closely at issues and how to find solutions to some of these things. But before we go into that deeply, let's get to look at some of the major issues that have happened in the transport sector within the last 1 week of operation. And just like you know it, when we go through these, we get to keep you updated. So I want you to listen closely. During the course of the week, we had information that NIMET was on strike. NIMET, that's the Nigerian Meteorological Association, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, and you saw several airlines issuing notifications suspending flight operation nationwide due to the ongoing strike by NIMET. And in a statement that was released by one of the airlines, head of corporate communication, stating that the decision is necessary because the agency responsible for CNH, for issuing CNH, talking about current nowcast of hazardous weather, which are critical for safe landings, especially during this season of heavy rainfall and thunderstorm, is currently not providing that service. And these are challenges within the sector that people that affects daily operation of these within the air transport. But good enough that most of these airlines have resumed, have started operation now, since NIMET is back from their strike and the activities are back as normal. Normalcy has returned with their operation. Also, moving on in the news, we have information that the federal government has declared Minna Airport as an alternative to Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Now, the airport in Minna, that is talking about Niger State, can fully operate commercial flights. This is an airport that the federal government has declared as an alternative to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport. The airport, which is named after the president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was declared during the inaugural commencement of Overland Airways from the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Airport in Minna. The Minister of Aviation, talking about Festus Keyamo, said the airport now has the space, the runway, the ambience and location that fits any other international airport across the world, and now they are fit to run and welcome international aircraft like the Boeing 747 and the 777 can use the runway, which has been underutilized for over a year. But again, this is a good one for the Nigerian aviation sector, as we have information that yes, Minna airports can be used for flight. I think, like I mentioned, Overland Airways flew into that airport some days ago. Also, during the course of the week, we see activities of the chairman or the MD or the managing director of Nigerian Railway Corporation, talking about Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, sharing information about his activities with the Nigerian railway sector and how well he's planning to revive train operation. Just again, as the train station in Abuja over the course of the previous week witnessed large turnout of passengers, with some going to make use of road transport because of the volume that is on that route. The same way on the Warri Itakpe train service, we have passengers, as we know, that operation has been suspended and operation has not resumed there, but passengers on that route are really calling on the federal government to see that they have a better coach on that route, and consistent operations, failing operations can be put to a halt. If they can have coach like the ones we have on the Lagos-Ibadan train route on that corridor, then things can also be better on the Warri Itakpe train service. I really hope that the resumption of that rail service would come to reality soon. Hopefully they get to do every engineering and technical issues for safety and better customer service in that area.
Look into my eyes, son. You were born to be great.
With that, I'll actually put a halt to most of the trending news in the transport and tourism sector, because my guests in the studio with me today are talking about the chairman of Akomoro in Oyo State. I'll go on a short musical break while I get to speak to my guests shortly after this. Like I mentioned earlier on, the safety of bike riders, informations, challenges, not only for bike riders, even for users, road users, pedestrians, is a major concern on the program today, Transport and Tourism Express. Like you know, transport is our focus for today, and I'll be speaking shortly with Comrade Olugbode just after this.
Said in my journey through the world, over land and over sea, I see different cultures and different people's ways. I was born where the sun never sets and never rises. I was born where the heat is like a second skin.
On 103.5 FM.
Mr. Jẹ́jẹ́ láyé gbà. Jẹ́jẹ́ mi sì. Èyí sì mi sì. Wọ́n ní kò yẹ pẹ̀lẹ́mà. Mo fi sì ní kòlà. Wọ́n ní kò ga bára. Mo kò ga bára. Mo kò ní kájú. Ìtú bá pa ẹ́. Ṣé wọ́n lè débi tó ń lọ? Ìyàlẹ̀ rẹ̀ náà bá bọ̀. Ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ bà bọ̀. Easy. Alẹ́ yìí pọ̀ jù.
Welcoming you back to Honor 103.5 FM. The program you're listening to is Transport and Tourism Express. Today on the program, our special focus is on transport. I just like you know that the movement of vehicles needs attention, especially in Oyo State. And our focus today is one public transport system that is very close to the people. Talking about motorcycle riders, the operation of motorcycle riders, which is known as Okada in Oyo State. A lot of our indigenes, especially the very old ones, who say Tata Kuku, call it several names. But more importantly is the fact that Okada riders have become a part, and Okada operation have become a very serious part of our commercial public transport operation. I said commercial because long before now, what we have is a situation whereby bikes are used for just for private use. You see them maybe likes of those days when we have Vespa or some other riders like that, some other bike operators like that. But now manufacturers, apologies, but now what you have quite a lot of them across the streets. Back then, you see them, they could only carry maybe just one passenger. But like I said, not for commercial purpose, most of them for private use. I think in the East, you still see people making use of some of these old bikes from previous old manufacturers. But now, for commercial purpose, bikes are a major part of our transport system. Now, we see how well and how far these bike operators have been in operation in Oyo State. If we have to look at some states have actually banned the operation of bike riders totally, especially on major routes in their states. But in Oyo State, we still have them freely operating, which is good to an extent, especially if we do make use of it very well. If we are not flouting the rules and the laws of the land. Okada seems to be like the fastest means of transportation because they can easily maneuver passing through hooks and corners to get a passenger to where they want to go. You can easily carry 2 passengers. But on the program today, a major concern is around safety. And today I have the chairman of Okada Riders in the studio today. It's good to have you on the program today. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, our listeners at home. Good afternoon, Sama. My name is Oyejide Solomon, the state chairman of Akomora.
Thank you, Mr. Oyejide Solomon, the state chairman of Akomora. A lot has been happening, a lot has been said. And I think I will start from how your operation has been, your activities as a chairman. How has it been for you? What have you been up to? What are the activities in Akomora so far?
We thank God for where we are today, because one of the things we are able to do as a union is what they call self-help. Whenever there is error, there is collision with Okada, we know what used to happen in the past. But today we have seen that all these nuisance on the roads, Okada burning cars when there are issues, all this, we can see that at least to some extent people are having decorum.
Okay, sincerely, I see that your members are now more organized in the state. I see some of them even with reflective jackets, but it's been a while you've been talking about this. A big question I will ask you is, do you know your members in the state? How many members of our Komoro do we have? Again, I know that we have several organizations, several government-approved organizations that runs these Okada riders commercially, talking about PMS, talking about Akomoro, and which other one again now? Mutsun or so. So, but what has been happening?
Okay, thank you. One thing is you may heard about so many names, but the truth of the matter is when we are talking about the actors, Major players.
Okay.
You talk of either PMS or Akomaran. Because we are the one that you can see on the road. We are the one with garages.
But do you know your members? When you say you are the major actors, how many members of Akomaran do we have in Oyo State?
The truth of the matter, we may not be able to get accurate number because of so in some of these outside Ibadan, some of them are, let me say, they are partial or part-time members, because some of them are farmers, they go to farm,
so they
something
get
like
involved
that.
in the business.
But one thing I am sure of is all our members are well trained. If you have to be a member of Akomaran.
When you say well trained, what are the basic requirements to join Akomaran? Elomi Owo Oti Daduro is not so skilled yet, but before you know it, because he has opportunity to a bike, maybe through higher purchase, and I'm still coming back to see maybe how profitable it is. But what is the basic requirement to join when you say membership?
When you see a bike man, that does not make him a member of Akomaran. One. That does not make him a commercial motorcycle rider.
Okay.
There are artisans, bricklayers, carpenters going to their workplace
and
with
for private
motorcycle, and they carry themselves in 2 or 3, and when people see them, they call them Okada riders.
Okay.
And that is why we want to appreciate the present commissioner of police, who called us for a meeting and told us that he's giving us up to the end of this month that every commercial motorcyclist should put on their uniform, so that we will know the commercial motorcycle rider and those who are doing private.
Now that you are saying this, that brings me to remember you've been on this program before, right?
Yes.
You've spoken about profiling, you've spoken about registration of your members, and we've been hearing this over and over and over. And now you're mentioning now that the commissioner of police has called your attention to it again.
Yes.
Are we really going to see changes this time? Though I've been seeing some of your members putting on this reflect, but I can still see a whole lot of people that are doing commercial operation that I don't have these jackets.
Yes, yes, we have been saying it because you see, when you have to follow the rule of law, there are anything that has merit will always have the merit. When you want to follow rule of law, you have to take time so that you don't. Yes. The one thing is, we have to get government approval for anything we are doing.
Okay.
Number 2 is the involvement of the law enforcement agent. Whenever we want to enforce anything like this, we need the approval. We need to take the consent to carry the law enforcement agents along. Gone are the days when those who are into union will bring cane, start beating riders, do constituting nuisance on the road. So, if you have to. If there is an offender, there is a way the law allows you to punish such person, and that is why we need with the system we want to use now.
With the commissioner of police,
that the police will be involved. If there is anyone that we find that is carrying passenger without uniform, we have to abide by the law.
Okay,
it is for us to hand him over to the police so that. Because we cannot take law into our hands.
All right, thank you. I will still come back to that discussion, your partnership or working relationship with the Nigerian police force. A major concern for me, you've not been on this program since the hike in petrol price, and I really want to ask, how profitable is this business for you? There are locations you go through now that it is probably just a little increase that you see in the amount they are charging for these routes that they fly. How profitable? There are so many issues that are there for you, and things to look into. Like I mentioned, petrol, fuel is one. Tickets from your members is also another for those road users, passing burdens to commercial, for passing burdens to road users. There are so many things. But again, I will allow you to answer this question after this short commercial break. Please keep it locked down. This is still on 103.5 FM.
On 103.5 FM.
lótìtọ́ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni gọ́níyà fíjì ìròyìn tó àmójúbà gbogbo aláfẹ́ ayé tó dé Subchem Leading Hotel and Suites ló ń ròyìn wípé ìgbádùn sódò síbi kan ju bí kan lọ. Subchem Leading Hotel and Suites, elegantly and centrally located in a secured and serene environment. Our facilities include cozy rooms and suites, spacious event and conference hall. Our restaurant serves delicious intercontinental and local cuisines, while our bar is stocked with all kinds of assorted drinks. Ní Subchem Leading Hotel and Suites, iná wa kì í ṣẹ́jú nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ètò àbúgbò kan falala lẹ́ẹ̀ma lo Wi-Fi ọ̀fẹ́ láì ní kọ̀sẹ̀. There is also laundry service and fully equipped gym. Seeing the say is believing. Visit Subchem Hotel and Suites today at Plot 3, Mechanic Scheme, opposite New Garage, off Ijebu-Ode Expressway, Ibadan, Nigeria. Telephone 090-6466-7569 and 090-4821-8600. Subchem Leading Hotel and Suites. In hospitality, we lead.
Let's go. This is your radio.
Unless we make broadcasting accountable, it is going to be very hard to change anything else for the better in our society. That is why all established and aspiring broadcasters are enjoined to join Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB, the only legally recognized professional body for broadcasters in Nigeria, registered since 1994. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, ìjọba ti wá rọ̀ Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB lágbára láti issue operational license fún gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú ìtọ̀sẹ̀ tó tọ́. SMB has successfully gone through all the different stages of becoming law. Àjẹpẹ́ fún ẹnikẹ́ni láti rẹ́sẹ̀ walẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó ní láti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB. Join now and be glad you did. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti dọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB, ẹ pè alábòjútó National Coordinator Dr. Yemisi Bangbose lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 0803-331-5256, or better still visit www.smb.com.ng. Be fulfilled as a broadcaster. Join SMB.
What's this? On 103.5 FM.
Mr. Jẹ́jẹ́ la ń gbà. Jẹ́jẹ́ mi sì. Jẹ́jẹ́ easy. Wọ́n ní kò yẹ fúnra bá. Ọ́fíìsì ní kò nà. Wọ́n ní kò ga bára. Kò ga bára. Kò ní kájú.
Jẹ́jẹ́. À ń sọ fún yín lójú pópó yín pé ẹ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ lójú ọ̀nà. Ìwọ ọlọ́kadà yẹn, ìwọ onímọ́tò yẹn, ẹ ṣe kí ni ẹ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Lórí ètò yìí, mo ti ń bá ọ̀gá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn chairman àwọn ọlọ́kadà lọ́yọ̀ state Akọ́mọ̀ràn, amalgamated
Commercial Tricycle and Motorcycle Owners Repairs and Riders Association of Nigeria.
So tricycles and motorcycles are involved.
Yes.
Okay, so but we are focusing on as much as we are focusing on motorcycles today, we're probably touching briefly on tricycles. You know, before we went on the short commercial break, I was asking you how profitable this business is. Before now, like I mentioned earlier on, people just use Okada for private use. I think in Igbo land, you still see some of the women driving those Vespa to move from one location to another, and maybe some other places. Though I've not seen any woman using Okada for commercial operation in Oyo State. But the reality is, how profitable is this? Fuel price has gone to the increase. Higher purchase, one bed. Individuals, you need to make owó ojoojúmọ́ and pay the person you are, and maybe that's why you see Okada riders maneuvering anyhow, moving just to ensure they make their daily pay complete. Ticket is also there, sticker no mbembe. How profitable is this for the common them?
Okay, I think we thank God because we earn living through this commercial thing. So the truth of the matter is not that easy. The truth of the matter is not that easy because the rate of inflation, how much people are taking Okada. Okada is between 1,450,000 to 1.5 now.
Wow.
And if you don't have, which some of us doesn't have the money anyway. If you have to go and get it from people who give it to you, it will be around 2.5 million.
Wow.
So for you to gather this money, pay your benefactor, because it's not that easy for you to give such money to somebody you don't know. and to get the fuel, and before you can
So
feed your
if someone
family.
wants to come in through that means to get involved in that business, you can the association facilitate maybe higher purchase for someone as a body that you are?
Yes, we have some of our unit chairmen who help them to get it.
And they be paying in bits
Yes,
while
yes.
working with it.
Yes.
Come on,
So- that's why I'm saying that. I said we have some of our unit chairmen, and that's why that does happens because even among some of
it does happen. It always
does happen.
Yeah.
Some of them have been arrested. Some are. You see, each time. That's why when people complain, sometimes that people are increasing the installment paying. I said, if you know what it takes to take a shorty for somebody taking a bike, because for the whole time, maybe a year or 14 months, that the person will pay, you have a sleepless night too. Until one, you will be praying the person must not accident. The journey should be accident free. So, you will still be watching the person so that you will not be one of those that will just carry the bike and run away.
Very true.
So it's not an easy thing, but at least we are handling living. So that is it's not that profitable,
but again, like you said, it's not that profitable, but you are passing the burdens to passengers that are using this, especially when it comes to what Okada riders on the road. You are the chairman. What Okada riders on the road are paying daily, talking about tickets, talking about, we've spoken about fuel, but some other burdens that we put on these individuals is also a major concern.
The truth of the matter is, talking about tickets, I think we have the least ticket price in your state.
As a Comoran.
As a Comoran, yes.
Okay.
We have the least ticket. And the truth of the matter is, when people complain sometimes, I used to tell them, if you have to complain, you have to substantiate your claim. Okay, for instance, there was a news going on social media where they say Boko Haram, etc. If you look at the news was I think from one of the radio stations they mentioned this morning that it was from 2022.
Not a
so some of the time you have this thing. If you have a proof of what you want to complain, we know there are people. Some of these people outside may be misbehaving, but you have to come out. For instance, I can speak for Akomoran.
Okay.
We don't inflate whatever.
When you say you don't inflate, I know recently I was speaking with an Okada rider recently, a motorcyclist, who was telling me that daily ticket or so, I don't know how many tickets now, maybe 2 or 3.
Yes.
You charge before 100 naira, now it's 200 naira, not until they start making complaints before you change it back to 100 naira. I don't know, maybe you want to speak to that.
No. Maybe you didn't get the information. It's either the person wants to misinform you or you didn't get the information right.
But how much do they charge for tickets? Do you charge daily for tickets?
Tickets per day now is 300 naira.
300 naira.
Yes.
Okay. And you said 3 different tickets. Let's
Yes,
see what for which where are
one
the
ticket is for the
revenue going to?
Algon.
Okay, Algon.
One ticket is for the Oyo State government.
Okay.
And the other is for the union. The last one is for the union.
The last one is for the union.
Yes, that
Okay.
is
And
what
the
we
union
used to run the
their
affairs of the-
activities.
Some of the people you see on the road, that is how they feed their own family too.
But àwọn owó kan there are some money that I know that they don't get tickets for. Bóyá after owó money, after owó ta, owó ọlọ́pàá or something. I don't know.
Once
I'm taking bike riders.
some of those things doesn't run in my own system, I don't think I will not be able to, because
No, but they are bikers, they are riders.
Yoruba will say yes, they may be a bikers, yes. We are all Nigerian, but wọ́n máa ń pòwe kan wá ní wọ́n jálè kìtì ṣe kan rọ́ọ̀yọ̀.
Okay. So you are saying
If
they are not
I'm
members
with my
of
wife
PM, not
and
members
we
of
argue,
Akomoran.
and we argue in my room, and you don't have a right to come in. That's how I manage my family.
So
And
more
we may
like
enjoy that. We may enjoy that argument.
Okonyin.
Yes, that is the truth. Because why? My it's only my member. Okay, if my member goes wrong, it affects me.
But now
Once my members are law abiding, maybe that is the reason why we are not increasing our own income, because I want to believe any member of Akomoran should abide by the law.
Okay, so if you have taken 3 tickets in a day, the Algon, the state government, and the one you used to run your association,
I think you
are they
should
at
be
the
free.
same amount?
Yes,
All the same
we
amount.
put them on the same amount.
All the same amount. So if they move from, let's say, UI now to gates, I know that in some places immediately you come down, you park there to say you want to pick passengers, you see one of the officials that will say no, you have to pay for carrying passenger here, or you, at least you know about some of these things. You see,
You
them.
may not. You see, the truth of the matter is, as a passenger, you may not know what he's paying for.
Okay.
For instance, there are some ways the government generates revenue. They give us some of those things. Some of these people will be running away. Even, okay, let me talk of motorcycle document. The law says you must renew your motorcycle document yearly.
Yes.
But do you know these people prefer to be given 500 here, 500 there, 500 there, rather than renew their papers.
So police officers.
I don't know who connects.
Or to your enforcement agencies.
I said they prefer to give it out. So, and
those men prefer to collect it also.
Wisdom is that just go and renew your papers so that you can be free. While I was going out this morning, please stop me. And they asked for the documents of my car, which I gave to them. They asked for the driver license. Despite that, I'm a union chairman. And I appreciate him for stopping me. I said, okay, what is the evidence that the owner of the car is the one in the car? Or anybody can just put the same sticker I put on my car and just pass. So let us be sincere with ourselves. The truth of the matter is we should do the needful.
You know, when you spoke about police, that brings me to the issue of your relationship with enforcement agencies, FRSC, police officers, task force that belongs to other agencies, inter-agency relationship. To what extent are you exploring them, even for trainings of your members?
Any unionist that does not relate, have a synergy with those ones, is like a laundryman that does not like the face of water. We can't operate our system. If our members prove to be unruly, we have to call the police. So far we cannot be using cane to beat them. We use the instrument of the state, which are the law enforcement agents. For about the FRSC, we invite them on so many occasions. They call us too for seminars, which we pass to our members. So we can't do without those ones because we are using the road, and they were to put sanity on the road.
Okay, so coming back to the initial question I asked you, we spoke about tickets and you said 3 different tickets, commercial operators for that. What about someone like you mentioned earlier on, a bricklayer, or someone that he works in this particular office, instead of using vehicle daily transport, he prefers to use bike and carries 2 of his other colleagues that work somewhere? Do they also have to get these 3 tickets?
No,
because I've seen your men harassing some of them on the road.
Yes, it has to happen. Because when there is a crime, and the passenger will come to the nearest garage that he passed there, you people were here, did you stop him? That is why he has to be challenged to prove himself that he's not an Okada man, and he will have to show who he is and where he's going. Because through this stop or whatever that you are mentioning, we have discovered so many criminals using bikes for operation. And that is one of the reasons why we are enforcing all commercial motorcycle riders to use uniform. Let us be sincere. Even more, there are more people who have their shops that in the evening they still go on commercial. After probably they open their shop from there.
They just want to go and make some money with their bikes.
And they are not able to make sales, and they have their bikes. Some of them will come out around 4 or 5. So some of these people now, you can't be you can't be a media person without being a member of NUJ. So that is what we are doing now. That
are they also
if you want to operate from 7 till 9 at night, you still have to be a member of
is there a number people can call to become a member? Is there a way they can contact you?
You can contact the nearest unit. It's just like
the nearest unit or garage.
You can contact the nearest unit to you where you want to operate.
You know, still talking about you say you have task force, you have enforcement people, and like I said, I've seen them on the road operate, and some of them act perhaps, let me say, unruly. I've seen situations, I don't know, maybe some of maybe I should ask, what are the work of your task force? There are some major things when it comes to ensuring and enforcing. Before we were talking about helmets, using safety helmets. Nobody talks about that again. Before, in fact, I think most bike riders in Oyo State are not even using helmets. I can't say I can see 1 or 2 in a day that will use helmets nowadays. We talk about they're not carrying about more than 2 passengers or 1 passenger at a go. We know when a major one of the defunct bike operators that was operating it on, I think maybe OPay or so at that time, was operating. We know how they were doing it. 1 passenger, you also have your helmet and all, but that is not happening now. Now you carry more than 2 passengers. What are they doing? What are these task force doing? Why are we not hearing about all of these things again?
The issue of the task force, we are just reforming the task force, our task force now, because what you don't have, you cannot give.
Okay.
So that is why we discover some of these lapses and we have been correcting it. By the time you see a task force, they fully operating now, you will see a discipline in them. And when you mention, if you ask the security agents about, I don't want to mention the names of the company of all these people using the, go and confirm, this is a fact. How many accidents? Some of them cause more accidents than this one that you're not using helmet. I'm not condemning use of helmet. That's the truth.
Some of them causes more
accidents. Yes.
You have your facts?
Yes. No, we do. We have regular meetings with FRSC.
Okay.
We have with VIO and on those stuff. What are the causes of accidents? You see, the truth of the matter is there are 3 causes of accident, which are environmental, manual, and which other one, and mechanical. But it is the man that will control all other factors. So that is why we are trying to sanitize every riders. That even the road may be bad, there may be bad weather, but where you are moving, you are the one that will through the motorcycle or the tricycle to determine the movement. So if the people can be disciplined, I believe we will have a limited accident on the road. We will get there, the use of helmet and some of those things, but let us start little by little. Don't forget that
we were there before.
No, it's about economy. No. It's about the economy. The change in the economy is rapid. Let us be sincere with ourselves. Less than 10 years, motorcycle was around 200,000, and now motorcycle is over 1 million naira. You just have to take it easy. I used to say, if you think somebody is not standing well in his own shoe, don't condemn him totally. Try and take that shoe, put it on. If you are able to stand, then you can condemn him. The person there for today, for you to be a rider on the road, I think it's not that easy to be paying a motorcycle with over 2 million naira. In less than 7 years now, I bought a car with less than 1 million naira. Less than 7 years, and the same in the same Oyo State now, motorcycle is 1.4, 1.5. Can you just see the margin?
So talking about helmets, you speaking to the fact that it's something you probably would want to do, probably.
Yeah, no, we will get there. We will get there. Once it is one of the key things about safety. It is our role to enforce safety. But when you are talking of enforcement, there should be enlightenment. Usually, some of the companies that they are in the past government, they are giving helmet to riders. Some of them have it at home. But when we let them see the reason why they wear it, there is difference between reasoning and force. When you force your child to do something, he will do it right before you, and when you go out, he will just throw it away. But when you make him reason, you make him see why he has to do it, it will just be part of him anywhere he goes. Well,
I believe so, and I hope that we bring this culture back soon enough, whereby you see riders even using their helmets, and even passengers have helmets to use. I think that is safety at its core. Even carrying more than 2 passengers. Initially we were talking about carrying 1 passenger, but yes, we got to the stage whereby 2 passengers for you to be able to even make ends meet. But again, I really hope your tax force, because telling lucky but of 100 naira, 200 naira, no. Some of them will leave them and let them. That is why
I said, when you see people carrying more than 2 passengers, are you sure they are Okada riders? You are not sure. And do you know everybody has a right to use the road? Freedom of movement. We can only enforce the law on our members. So that is why we want to know who are the commercial. We have a synergy with the PMS, Okada riders and tricycle, that from May, anybody that does not wear, if you pick passenger, you are not wearing uniform, we will arrest you, we will hand you over to the police, so that everybody will know who is an Okada man and who is not an Okada man.
So you have the opportunity to join the conversation. You have the opportunity to call in the studio lines, to call 091 5103 5555. 091 5103 5555 or 091 3500 1035. Are you a bike rider in Oyo State? Are you a passenger that have been using all of these and you want to speak to some of these issues? The number to call again, 091 5103 5555 or 091 3500 1035. Let's hear your thoughts. Express your opinion on the program today. Transport Express. I'm speaking to the chairman. I've been speaking to the chairman of Akomoro, who is a comrade Olugbode Solomon, and talking about several issues of public importance around this sector. Earlier on, we spoke about tickets. I know there's also something about stickers. How many stickers do we have? How many stickers, roadworthiness, or so that they are expected to have?
We have so many. We have some stickers that are introduced by the government.
Okay.
So that's all.
Like how much do these stickers go for?
Yes.
Where do we get
the truth
stickers?
is,
And are you saying no, it's only commercial? Is it for commercial?
no, stickers are not for commercial alone.
Okay.
It's for every riders.
Okay. Whether commercial or
Whether
private.
commercial or private, stickers are for everybody.
Okay. And how many? I mentioned just one.
I think there are about 6.
About 6.
6.
They get it weekly, annually, monthly.
No, it's annually.
Once in a year.
Once in a year.
The number to call again is 091 5103 5555. Just in case you have questions for the chairman of Okada Riders, talking about our Komoro in Oyo State. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, this call dropped off. So, talking about training again for your members. You mentioned initially that there are 3 tickets they get. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, network are dropping off some of these calls. You mentioned earlier on that there are 3 tickets that they charge daily, and one of it is for you to run your daily operation in the association. This money, I feel that regular trainings is very important at the branch level, at the unit level, ward level, or so, depending on how you structure some of these things. I don't know how well, I'm not sure, maybe with FRSC, with VIU, how often do you organize this training? Training them of how to use the road safety measures, even the Wawomoluabi gan, fáwọn ọlọ́kadà yìí.
Yes, we do that often. As times permit, we do that. We do our training so that sometimes the one we have with road safety and other agents, that one is periodical. But we used to have.
Have you had anyone this year, this last quarter?
No, we have not had. Because one thing is we concentrate more. We had the one we had in by ourselves, but because we just finished one by December. We used to have it when the Ember month is coming. No, it's not. It's not about the party. It's just that, you see, after the whole thing, there is how organization runs. It's not about the party. Even the law, they have their legal week. They have a party after the normal legal something. So you see, it's not about the party. It's a time that we can gather. For an average Okada man who is to pay 2.5 million, you can't delay. Even sitting down, you will just be looking at the road that people have been going. So to make an Okada man to sit down is not that easy, and that is why we use an opportunity like, okay, let us do Okada Day. So that time we use that time to inject training into them. So that is when you see parties, but it's not about the party.
But
some of them, they have meetings,
branch levels. Trainings are branch level. I think you should make it a monthly thing to say that every month this branch, gather yourself,
they have
resource
people, not to
even
the branch. They have
garages.
Some units have their meetings every week.
Okay.
Some have their meeting fortnight. So that one is going on. That one you don't.
And
need
in
to,
those meetings, the
major thing about that meeting is about, okay, for instance, the issue of the uniform for the end of the month. It's what we have been preaching now. That don't start running away, because some of the causes of accident is when you don't have documents. Some of them doesn't have documents. When they cite a VIO or a police,
they start running.
They want to run, and these are the major causes of accident. So some of these things we have been telling
Talking
them. So we
about.
have trainings going on, and we are talking condemning people going by one way. These are
There are
one of the
places they are not
things-
even supposed to go on the express.
So some
on
of those things we are talking
estates,
about.
some estates will not even allow them enter, and you.
Some of those things we are talking
So
about.
finally, let's bring it close. Program to a close. You were speaking about your relationship with the police commissioner and saying that at the end of this month, what is happening?
What we are saying is the police let us know that they have been using motorbike for several criminal activities.
Okay.
And in our meetings, we both agree that every Okada man needs to be identified.
Yes.
And that is why the use of uniform is important.
Okay.
Because he mentioned that the use of ID card, it is until you stop a person
Then
that
you
ask
ask.
for
But
them.
if you say uniform,
the uniform will
what,
make us,
what's the color of your uniform?
our uniform is blue with orange stripes.
Okay, blue with orange stripe, and where they can easily get it at the branch or
Yes,
where?
there it is in the unit. So that is why we have been doing that, and by the grace of God, by first week in the May, there will be
Enforcement will
will
start. Thank you very much for speaking with us today, Comrade Solomon Olugbode, the chairman of Akomoron. That's the Amalgamated Association for Tricycle Riders and Bike Riders in Oyo State. I also have with him
Comrade Ojualuko
Comrade Ojualuko, who
from Anara, the vice chairman.
the chairman of Onara local government. Thank you also for joining us on the program today. Thank you very much, our dear listeners, for joining us on the program today. Till next week when we come your way again. Like I say, if you drink, please ensure that you do not drive or you do not ride. And if you ride, ensure you do not drink. My name is Victor Oyejide, and I've been your captain on this belt of the program Transport and Tourism Express. Till next week, do have a wonderful day. Thank you also, Rufus Osusami, as usual, for joining on the program. It's a pleasure having you. Till next week, please enjoy the rest of your day.
Wọ́n ti bẹ̀ wọ́n dúró. Adé yìí kò ju.